This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew.
Okay, look, I have a thing against the word erectile dysfunction, the term erectile dysfunction. And you know this about me, Jenny.
I know this about you because that was my band's name and you got mad about that.
Yeah, and I don't like to call it erectile dysfunction. I like to think that as I've gotten older, my erections are more discriminating. You know, they don't just, I don't give it up for just anything. And, you occasionally you need that boost, people. Let's face it.
Everyone needs a little something. Yeah.
Sometimes you need a little something. So the great, I'm going to be 57 on Wednesday. And the greatest part of that is, when, when you were feeling a little nerfy in the shorts, when you were like in your 30s, it was really embarrassing because you should just be like all there. And it happens to everybody even then. But now when it happens, it's like, hey, I'm 57. You're lucky to get one.
Yeah. So I mean, when you hugged my mom, that happened.
Well, obviously, I'm not like made of steel, but not everybody has your mom around. And that's why you need Blue Chew. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
Yeah. And you could take them anytime, by the way, Danny.
I could.
Day.
How do you know I haven't taken one right now?
I like the idea that maybe you did. And guess what? Maybe I did.
We both took them. I don't think
I'm rock hard right now.
I don't believe they're for women. And
no, they're not for women. Don't do that. This is why we're a comedy podcast. We say that.
Yeah. Well, here's something that they wanted me to say, and I'm going to say it because they were really strict about it. It says Blue Chew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians. So you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than a pharmacy. And they prepare and ship it right to you in a discreet package. No awkwardness, and you don't need to leave the house. And I'd just like to add, you also don't need to buy a bunch of stuff at the pharmacy that you don't really need because you don't want to just go there for boner pills.
Exactly. You don't have to buy garbage bags and moisturizer.
Yeah, a toilet brush, the latest episode, the latest issue of Us. No.
As seen on TV products.
No. As seen on TV products. You don't need that. So visit bluechew.com now and get your first shipment free when you use our special code, Danny. See that, Dad? I made it. My name is a promo code for Boner Meds.
One day, I have a dream now.
Yeah, and you'll just pay $5 in shipping. You go to bluechew.com, promo code Danny, and that's it. That's BLUE chew.com, promo code Danny. Try it for free. I know I am. I don't even
product. It's the cheaper choice too. They sponsor the podcast.
And they sponsor the podcast. And I'm alone right now. But the most humiliating thing is when I can't even perform when I'm alone. And this has saved me a lot of embarrassment and tears to myself in the mirror. So Danny,
anything that'll make you smile and not cry tears of sadness.
I'm a much happier person. Danny at bluechew.com.
Blue Chew.
Well, welcome to the first podcast of the post-Trump era. I mean, that's something.
That's a big deal. I think applause. I feel like we should take applause.
Applause. Well, we did it. We did it, guys, or more specifically, African Americans in Georgia did it. Thank you so much. The people who by all rights should not be helping us have saved our ass once again. And thank you, Stacey Abrams. You should be on Monday.
Big time. I'm so happy that this just went the right way. Otherwise, this would be a sad podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah. We'd be broadcasting from New Zealand. Jenny, would you like to introduce our amazing guest, somebody we both wanted to have on the show?
Yes, we're both like fangirling right now that we were able to get, I want to say Twitter superstar, but I should also add that he happened to have this previous career that I was a big fan too, a basketball fan, but an NBA career that was quite successful. Rex Chapman, everybody.
That's the National Basketball Association.
The treasure, the heart and soul of Kentucky. It's Rex Chapman.
Woo, Rex Chapman.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Please stop
Yeah.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
No, it's unbelievable.
Rex,
It's unbelievable.
what you've done, I
You are
have,
the
I have
second,
to ask.
you're the second oldest influencer on this podcast. It's amazing. I'm 3 years older than you.
Oh, did you?
Wikipedia's right.
Did you have to look that up because you wanted to? You were hoping that maybe he would be.
I was hoping Rex was older than I was, but no, I beat you.
I can't see very well. I keep thinking, Danny, every time you pop up, I'm on with Richard Dreyfuss.
Everybody says that. You should have seen me. You should have seen me when I had the beard.
I bet.
Oh.
I bet.
The beard.
Oh my God.
He was like really ready to go catch Jaws with that beard.
I was.
And the hat,
I was
and you hadn't had a haircut. It was a little frizzy. You had the beard.
It was everything. It was, yeah, it was later. It was later, Dreyfuss, for
So
sure.
great. So great.
Well, Rex, first off, thank you so much for being here. And I have to tell you, like, what you've done this, like, I guess, second career you almost have right now on Twitter. Like, how insane is that for you to go from NBA star and then Twitter comes out and all of a sudden you're like 1 million+ followers?
Yeah, it's all just crazy. None of it planned. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll get into the heavy stuff first. You know, I had a drug problem for about 15 years, painkillers right after I finished playing.
Yeah.
And shoot, I 6 years ago, I guess, five or 6 years ago, I was living on friends' couches and stuff, hanging around LA, just trying to get back on my feet. And so this whole social media thing really has just happened by accident. You know, the two really cool things have come out of it. We've been able to help a lot of people with COVID relief. That you guys gave money. So many people gave money throughout this, and then I think the other thing is just you know, it just sort of became a lib safe haven.
Yeah.
I think
You know,
did.
Yeah.
It really did. And I, you know, never fashioned myself very political before Trump. But it did kind of become a place that, you know, like-minded people could go and kind of just take a break, or kind of misery loves company, you know, get in there and you know, I it was cool, I think. And to see, again, you touched on it right off the bat. You know, I'm still pissed about Trump, and, you know, I'm hoping they get held accountable.
Me too.
But can you believe Georgia really did it? They really did it, guys.
That's shocking.
And Mitch is out of power.
Yeah.
He's been in power since I was a 16-year-old high school junior in Kentucky.
Wow.
And dude, I'm so happy. And I played in a lot of ball games. I don't know, when I say this, I know it'll sound corny. There's been no bigger or better team effort than what we all just participated in my experience. I'm just overjoyed. I have to, you know, I'll get down or start bitching and moaning about something, and I have to remind myself Mitch is no longer in power. So, man, I'm just so
minority
excited.
leader now.
Exactly.
No, but you're so right about that. I mean, it got overstaged by a little what do you call it? Coup.
Yeah.
Against democracy. But
Or the people that did it called it a coup, I bet.
Right.
Yeah. I'm from Texas, I guarantee you.
I'm from Kentucky.
We're doing a coup, boys.
Coup.
Get the
It's a
truck.
But honestly, I mean, you know, we didn't, you know, when you think about what was at stake there and what was at stake in that election, and really everywhere, but like, let's talk about there in particular and what we did about getting him out, and really a decisive loss. It's no, you know, we didn't storm the beaches of Normandy. You know, our generation never did that, but we saved democracy just the same. I mean, I don't think I actually think that we were closer to losing everything here this time around than we have since Nazis, you know, were marching overseas, and we got infiltrated. And, you know, I want to say to these people, not that they care, and I guess I can't even communicate, but like, you're all on tape. Like, we're going to see you. And
I know.
Like, do you want, like, I always think about, who's the guy from Alabama, George Wallace, standing on the steps going, segregation now, I mean, it's like a whole country, like, there's
You know,
no-
and I'm
Go
with
ahead.
you. And when I see guys like Rand Paul this morning on the
Yeah.
news, you know, still at Kentucky, you
Yeah.
know, a Kentucky senator, still, you know, and what he's not saying, what he is saying, but he doesn't come out and say it, is that too many black people voted. We got to fix that.
Exactly.
We've got to, and I don't understand. We keep talking about, we got to explain what gerrymandering is. It's fucking filthy. It's
Yeah.
despicable. Don't just dress it up with a gerrymandering term. Tell people what it
Yeah.
is every time you're talking about it. Same thing goes for disenfranchising voters. Stop saying that.
No.
Explain what that is. Explain what
Yeah.
it is to people every time. These people are cheating. They're just
Yeah.
cheating and trying to find cute little ways to dress it up. It's
Yeah.
disgusting racism.
It's disgusting.
There's
Like,
a part of, do you ever think like what kind of like bukkake video that Trump must have of
I
Rand
can't.
Lindsey
Paul?
Graham?
like,
Well,
or
Lindsay
like
was who I was
Ted
going to say,
Cruz
but
or,
Oh,
but like
yeah.
Ted Cruz or Mario, you know, Marco Rubio, these people that are
Rubio.
just like, they're just
I
going
know.
down, swinging like
Yeah.
this. The sky's green, the grass is blue, and
I mean,
it's like,
imagine
what
dying,
the hell does he have on you? Like, it
wanting
has
to
be
die on that
something.
hill, wanting to
Yeah,
die on
that-
the Trump hill. Come on,
Which
really?
which
And he
means I just
doesn't
feel
give
like
a
there's
shit
gotta
about it.
no, there's Trump, the people that are his supporters, you look at them. I mean, hell, I'm a NASCAR fan. I know what like NASCAR is so far ahead of the game as far as like rednecks and American flag apparel.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the people that, you know, storm the Capitol are like brainwashed. I mean,
You know, that I said from the get-go, you know, it would be just a gold mine to bring that dude, Donald Trump, to a little holler down in here in rural Kentucky,
Mhm.
into a little trailer out in the middle of nowhere, put cameras in there, and he's got to entertain that family for about an hour or two. And
Yeah.
it would be pure comedy. They would
yeah.
end up clowning him. He wouldn't know how to act, how to behave. He'd be scared to death.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I'd love to see him locked in a room for 30 minutes with a puppy. I bet that would be awkward. I bet he couldn't even pull that off, you know, like Donald Trump
Exactly.
locked in a room with a puppy. He'd be like there's no way, there's like no joy in that humor.
No,
like
there's
there's
not.
zero. If
Ah.
any one of his kids dared to cross him, he'd be like, loser, I never liked
Exactly.
him. Fuck.
I mean,
God.
he would much rather, like I've said this many times, but if I were to suddenly go on Twitter back in the day and just say, hey, you know, I've had a real change of heart, you really have done a good job, he would much rather be friends with me than any of those people who painted their titties with flags. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
it would be, it's absolutely. And just talking about like the Rand Pauls and all these fuckers who are there, because this is what really bothers me. The difference between the people who stormed the Capitol and wanted to hang Pence and kill Pelosi and the people in Congress who riled them up is the people who are going to hang Pence really believe the election was stolen. And
Yes.
the people who told them that from Fox News, they all know it's bullshit.
They all
And
know it was bullshit.
motherfuckers, that's worse.
That's what gets me. That's what I'm sorry to step on your
No,
feet,
please,
there, Danny.
no.
But no, that's what gets me about Mitch McConnell is
Me
that
too.
we've got this motherfucker up there yesterday saying, you know, Trump, his words and his actions. No, fuck you. You don't get to be who decides this. You're part of it, man. Your silence enabled all of it. You could have said from the get-go, you took 37 days to acknowledge that Biden was the president, and you knew the whole time all his election lie bullshit was bullshit.
Yes.
How does he get to stand up there for us and say, well, yeah, that's why, you know, this? No, you're part of it. You move away. I mean, it's just infuriating. And then, you know, Trump had to. Well, you don't.
Right.
What if they'd have gotten Mike Pence and Pelosi? I mean, he just tried to stay in there. You know this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just.
He would have called for martial. He would have called for martial law and locked it down until we figured it out. Blamed Antifa, which they all tried to do. By the way, fucking Antifa. I'm as liberal as you. I wish we had Antifa. We could really use Antifa. Back then. We didn't have it though.
I thought the Antifa claim immediately was funny to me because all of those people were like, I mean, first off, they're taking selfies and they have GoPro cameras on, no masks. they're walking in and they're like, oh, I think it was Antifa dressed as Trump supporters. All those rednecks were like, hell no, fuck Antifa, we are Trump all the way. Like they told on themselves.
Yeah,
They
they
couldn't
want
even like
credit.
read between the
Trump.
lines. Yeah.
They
Like,
want credit. It's like a
So
serial killer
stupid.
gets pinned on somebody else, and they go, "Hey, that's my best
Look
work."
at me.
Yeah. You know, I always take the big toe. That's me. Like, fuck. I mean,
It's so
but
true.
like you look and you know, like that one video that I love so much of that girl saying, "We're storming the Capitol. It was a revolution." And she got maced. As hard as I laughed at that, and especially that Animaniacs.
Oh,
like,
so good.
Yeah, so good.
but you look at that girl and you're like, oh my God, she really believed
she believes
was
it.
doing the right
Yeah.
thing.
That's
Like
I know.
that's what's so fucking scary. It's like
And
you.
funny. And
Yeah.
funny.
I mean,
No, I know.
I mean,
she
that
believed
was.
it.
She fucking believed it. And I love all the people that are like, oh wait, they're arresting us now, and then they're telling their kids like, snitches get.
But you know
like, don't
what's
say
crazy is that they're getting arrested now, but they got to walk away from it in the first place.
yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that was
what kind of
bananas.
shit
They got
is
to-
this? That's
They got to
what's
go home
mind-blowing.
and I mean,
Yeah,
there
go
was
home,
like,
chill, get a TV dinner, chill for a
Yeah.
little bit.
have time
And-
to collect your thoughts before you get
I-
cuffed out.
I'm single right now, and I want to find a woman who looks at me the way some of those police looked at the insurrectionists. They were so courteous and, "Are you okay?" That's all I want. I want someone to take care of me like that.
Yeah.
It was
Helping them down the steps
fucking
of the
bananas.
Capitol. Come on, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
but tell me
grief.
it's not about race.
Yeah,
Please, tell me.
right.
Of course.
Good
I mean,
Lord.
it's 100% about race. And like I thought when, Lindsey Graham at the end of that finally
Yes.
said enough is enough. And while that was positive in a way, I still in my head was going, so this was the fucking straw.
This what did
for
it,
you.
yeah.
But all the other shit that he's done, I'm glad that this finally was like, okay.
And by
it's
the
not
way,
funny anymore.
And some of them are still not walking away.
and he's
I mean-
already walked. He walked
Yeah.
it back. Lindsey Graham
Yeah.
walked it back. Someone said, "Hey, remember this tape of you in the Cub Scouts? Let me
I'm
pull
telling
that
you,
out."
Bukkake video. It's all gonna come back. Whatever
Whatever it
salacious
is.
shit,
Yeah.
Trump has it. He's
It
way
will.
too connected and in the know
Yeah.
with like the National Enquirer.
The
and all those,
Enquirer,
like, catch
yeah.
and kill
Yeah.
stories. He's like
He's
big
got a
buddies
ton of
with
dirt.
the CEO of what's it?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
that guy's
well,
like the same
first of all,
Pecker, by the way.
Yeah.
David
Pecker.
Pecker.
I don't want to blow past this, Rex, because I did, I actually remember this when it
What's
had
that?
happened before you were there. But like, I was somebody who had I did all the cocaine. If there was a period of time in the 90s where it was all dried up, and
Yeah.
that was
I
my bad.
remember.
That was my, I want to apologize to everybody. I mean, I still get gift baskets from the Escobar family.
Oh, by the way, I did watch your cocaine episode of Just Shoot Me. The
Oh,
one
did
that
you?
Didn't
Yeah.
remember writing.
The one I
Yeah.
didn't remember writing. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I
And
gotta
by the
watch
way, it was
Yeah, no,
great.
I was like, that's why I knew there was a point at the very end of like my madness that I thought, oh, I'm just going to die because I am this high functioning. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not like sports, it's not like where I can bust an ankle or have an injury. It's like, all I have to do is, and at the time, especially on a multi-camera show, you're staying up late anyway.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
hours. So that energy at midnight was a positive.
Absolutely.
It was performance enhancing, I thought. But yeah, no. So man, I know how dark things get,
Oh,
and I just give you, I didn't know you until Twitter,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
it's so clear that you're like a good person, and I'm like, and it's good to see that a good person like survived that. So congratulations.
Well, thanks,
know.
man. I'm trying.
know.
Addiction's fucking hard. I didn't really get it. I grew up my alcohol on my mom's side of the family. My parents didn't really party a lot or drink a lot, but had a lot, and then alcohol, and then gambling on my dad's side of the family. And I just kind of, I didn't drink really when I played. I didn't have my first drink till I was like 22. And my first year in the NBA, I was 19, first 2 years. And so I was underage. So we weren't, veterans weren't allowed to have beer in the locker room, which went over real well, as you can imagine.
Oh,
I was sent into the opposing locker room every night after the game to fill up a black hefty garbage bag full of beer and ice and take it into our locker room, or smuggle it onto the bus. But
as if rookie hazing isn't bad enough.
Yeah, exactly. So but then, you know, I'd have a drink here or there. I wasn't a smoker. I guess because of how I was raised, I didn't feel like it was going to do me any good. And then there were guys that were partying every night that were just fucking awesome. It was just how I was wired. I didn't feel like I could do it. But then my last 3 years, I had 7 orthopedic surgeries, a couple really bad ones, and so a doctor put me on OxyContin, right for an appendix.
Stop it.
Right at the end of my career, and
that should have been like some Tylenol 3 or something.
Oh my God! And within 2 days, I was in love. I'd never felt smarter or funnier or better dad, better husband. It was the bomb. It was like people say, drugs are fun, and then it's fun with problems, and then it's just fucking problems, and that happens pretty fast.
It's so funny, Rex, because it was like the same thing. Other people who I know who like have had like success in their lives who've fallen into this. And I had the same thing. I was a straight arrow all through high school. And, you know, I got to college, and I still to this day don't really like to drink. I unfortunately am a recidivist smoker. But I tried cocaine that first time, like my junior year of college or sophomore year of college. And I was like, it was
your shit.
I was instantly.
Yeah.
Like it was just a matter of time. I knew till I had money and a connection. And when those two things hit, you know, and so I get it, man. I know it's like, and you have because no one in my family, no one, I like to gamble. I never really had a huge gambling problem. I did like it. But no one, my family was so buttoned down, and like no one, I never saw my parents drunk, no drugs, no gambling. And so I didn't have any context for it at all. So I get it, man.
And then the guilt, you know, you get all the guilt and the shame that you feel from letting people down, friends, you know, when it becomes public and all that stuff. So, but it's something had to happen for me. Something had to happen. I was, you know, I wasn't, I do remember waking up many times, you know, just you're lost, and you just think my life is never going to be any better than it is right now, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And then you gotta, you know, that at some point it just has to click, and you gotta change something, or you're not going to be around very long.
Brother, you're killing me, but I feel all
no, that's really I'm glad you're, you know, open talking about this, because I think it's like so positive for, you know, listeners and everything, especially now, because people are going through such a dark time with
man,
being locked down.
I mean, just being home.
Well, it's like, what else is there to do? I don't know. Let me get some drugs and just
I'm telling you. I remember Rick Pitino came in, basketball coach. He's been a longtime friend of mine, and Rick's had his share of shit and misfortune, and some of it self-inflicted. So, but he's one of my good friends. And when I was in rehab, I was in rehab 3 different times over 14 or 15 years. But the last time was in 2014, and I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and he came to see me there, and, like within the first week, and I was barely out of detox. So I was still just kind of numb but starting to feel emotions again and stuff. And I remember him walking in and us sitting there, and I just started crying. And I said, I'm toxic. Nobody's ever going to want to have anything to do with me ever again. I'll never work. I'll never be able to support myself, my family, my kids, nothing. And he said, listen, all right, you're going to eat a lot of shit for a while. And he said that it's going to be about the size of a beach ball to begin with. You keep doing the next right thing, it'll be the size of a basketball, and then a softball, and then a golf ball, and then it'll be a pebble, and then people won't talk about it, but you got to keep doing the next thing. And for whatever corny reason, it stayed with me.
I get it.
And the other thing that stayed with me was I was in I was in rehab and I was trying to learn, you know, what am I doing? You know, what's going on with me, all that. And this guy, this intern, great big black guy named Clyde, he just a great guy, big North Carolina Tar Heel fan. So we had kind of gotten, you know, friendly, just talking Kentucky and Carolina sports and basketball and stuff. And then I really wasn't interested one day in reading the stuff I was supposed to be reading in rehab. And he came into my room and just thought he was cleaning up and stuff. He got down on his hands and knees and was looking under my bed. And I was like, what? He went over and looked under the other bed. I was like, what are you doing, man? He said, I was just seeing if you found any humility in here. And I started cracking up laughing. And it was one of the first times I'd laughed in probably deep laughed like that in years, because you just get so dragged into this opioid haze. But it was hilarious and poignant, and it stayed with me. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I deserve that and more. So anyway, it's just hard.
That's amazing. I mean, honestly, I'm actually hoping, because what you're saying is it's so strong, and I hope, like, anybody out there who listens is struggling. Like, I'm hoping you're that Clyde for somebody right now, because
me too.
Me too. And you are. I fully think you are. I mean, I've following you on Twitter for I don't know how long, but
quite a while.
I love, like, seriously, I've said it before, your account is my favorite one to follow. Sorry, Danny.
Well, thanks.
I agree. I can't.
But what you have, like, this perfect combination of, like, funny, sweet. Okay, now I'm going to go in the other room and cry because the housekeeper got a free penthouse or whatever.
Right.
From yesterday.
By the way, fuck you. For that.
I know.
Yeah, fuck.
How about that?
I seriously wanted to retweet it and just go, fuck you, Rex. I don't.
I know. I started bawling. I thought, wait, at first I was like, wait, she doesn't see the cards. She doesn't know the cards are there. And I went, oh my God. I started crying the second they walked in. But yeah, I'm with you. And I also think, as much as Trump was horrible, he brought a lot of people together that, I mean, I hope that what we've started doing is going to really build. I've been really encouraged with how, politically kind of the conversation can be on my stupid channel, that just based on, the people in politics that follow. I mean, Nancy Pelosi and Chelsea Clinton and all kinds of, we got Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. They follow the stupid account. I woke up yesterday and Keisha Lance Bottoms is following.
That's amazing.
I'm just like, it is amazing. And the people that blew me away about a week or so ago, I wake up, got a direct message from Sacha Baron Cohen. And I went, I had to look and make sure this was like a verified account.
Right.
It said, hey, Rex, listen, really trying to get Trump off of Twitter. Would you mind pumping my tweet, maybe retweeting it? I said, sure. And it took off. And like in 2 days, Trump was banned, and he was sent a message that said, we did it, man. Thanks. We're going to try to get getting kicked off of YouTube, but I'll give you a little break. I'll hit you up next week.
Wow.
I'm like, what is going on here? I was living in my fucking car. Right? I was living in my fucking car.
Well, now you've just broken my heart a little bit. So let me just talk to you. This is really true. I'm about to tell you a story. So because I pitched to Sacha shortly before we were going to do, and like it was the first time I talked to him. I'm a huge fan. Anyway, it didn't go. And then about like 6 weeks later, he called me and said, I'm trying to get him off Twitter. And I thought, like, I had a tweet that I did that went big. And so I've been walking around, but now what I realize is you have 1 million followers. It was you, not me. And I have been walking around like I did it. You motherfucker. We're editing this whole story out. I've told too many people.
Oh my God. I told my buddy, you guys may know him, Josh Hopkins. He's an actor. I told Josh about that. And he said, dude, you have more followers than he does.
You do.
What? Oh, that's fucking insane.
No,
it's insane.
I mean,
That
I
always
know.
blows me away. Anytime I look at someone who's
fucking
like far
insane.
more like super famous and
What?
whatever, I'm like, why do I have more fucking? I write dick jokes on the internet.
Exactly. I went to retweet Bill Russell the other day, and he has like 74,000 followers.
You're like, you
That's
bitch.
Bill fucking Russell.
Now,
Go follow him.
did you make this jump in followers over this pandemic, or did you come to this with this many followers?
I about 2 years ago, probably, I had maybe 100,000 followers just from basketball and
Yeah.
all of that. And then I just started doing these stupid, blocker charge basketball term.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, thank you for the T-shirt.
Yeah,
I should have
thank
worn
you
that.
for rocking it. Thank you for rocking it. No, but I started just putting those stupid videos out asking blocker charge, and people kind of thought it was, I don't know, it was not clever, it was not anything, it was just stupid. But you know what it did, and I've thought about this brought in a lot of NASCAR-ish followers. And so during this whole pandemic, when it flipped and I started becoming more vocal about politics, a lot of people felt betrayed. And so but no, I guess about a year ago I would have had maybe half a million followers. So over the last 9 or 10 months, it's grown like that.
Yeah, your follower count has been just going. Like
just but it's crazy that just all of the, there's members of parliament and leaders from Australia and Ireland, and it's just amazing.
It really is.
But I'm sorry, but you have Ice-T following you.
Ice-T, Chuck D.
I mean, like,
I know. I looked this morning.
You retweeted something of mine, and I see liked by Ice-T, Chuck D. I'm like, oh my God.
I feel the same way.
I was so excited.
No, a Rex Chapman retweet is like, it's sort of like the next morning. It's like, oh look, the Pope is following me.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, Ben Stiller. This morning I went to retweet because Seth Rogen made a great tweet. He and Ted Cruz.
By the way, he's on fire right now, just smoking pot, making vases, and going off on politicians.
Yeah.
Like,
and I went to retweet Seth this morning, and I looked, and he follows. I was like, Seth Rogen follows this stupid account?
Of course, though.
It's insane. It's insane.
You have it's a broad appeal.
Yeah, the appeal, like I said, it's just there's just such a perfect combination of, you can get the laughter, you can get the look at that puppy shaking hands with a look at that dog driving a bus. Oh shit, look at that.
I know.
Like,
so sweet.
I know, and you also have some edge to it. I mean, it's not like overly edgy, but occasionally you have some edge, which I like. I mean, it's like you really do have a voice. It's like you're not like, it's like I love it. By the way, just because we're talking about basketball, I do think an unsung hero through all of this has been the NBA. I think the NBA has led social justice and voting rights in a way that I don't think any political party has done as good a job.
I agree. I appreciate you saying that. I'm so proud of our league. I'm proud of our leadership. I'm super proud of our players, and not only our players, but the WNBA as well.
Yeah, they've done a lot.
They're not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And for them to, hell, what's her name? Kelly Loeffler owns the Atlanta Dream, one of those teams. And she was so anti-Black Lives Matter. You talk about just disgusting racism.
Yeah.
But you're right. And this summer, when Jacob Blake was shot in the back and the NBA was playing in the bubble and they decided not to play.
Yeah.
What we're seeing, all of that, because the NBA negotiated with the players and said, hey, all right, look, if you'll come back and play, we'll open up voting in every NBA city in the building. Yeah. And that's fucking huge. And you can't tell me that didn't make difference in places like Phoenix and Georgia, where there was more urban vote. There were more people were being encouraged. Here's how you do it. Here's why you do it. I couldn't be more proud. And then, guys like LeBron, really taking, And I played with
Yeah.
Michael, played it with and against Michael. Michael made a lot of money.
Yeah.
At the time, though, it was still unheard of for players to speak out on stuff we'd see that,
Yeah.
maybe you shouldn't say something and rock the boat on. I'm so happy to see our players with this, just
Yeah.
this support, overwhelmingly loving support, and them willing to, get out there and try to help educate and for the next generation. I love it.
And taking
Yeah.
and taking
go ahead.
hits for it. And
Oh,
taking
yeah.
hits for it.
Yeah.
It's like LeBron, like the shut up and dribble shit. And like, so then he's got the kind of trolls like that everybody, it's like, good for him, man. I'm impressed. What are you gonna say, Jenny?
I was gonna say, like, watching, The Last Dance.
So good.
I'm a huge basketball fan. I
Yeah,
played
me
growing
too.
up and everything, and watching the Michael Jordan thing, when that got to that part where there was a political thing, and he just was like,
Mhm.
yeah, and you can't put that all on his shoulders, because the amount of people around him going, you have this, if you say something, we're
That's right. That's exactly right.
His hands
Yeah.
were tied. You cannot
Yeah.
put all that on his
I know.
shoulders. He's running a machine, a business, and so he had to remain quiet, and then cut to
Yeah.
now. Just the NBA bubble alone, I was so
Yeah.
impressed with that. Like, for us to be able to have sports again and to be able to watch everything, and that was such a great idea, and that couldn't have been a lot of fun for those guys. Just
Agreed. Right.
being trapped in.
I mean, if you think about the players that were there, LeBron and those guys, they were there for over 3 months, not seeing family or friends, or it was really
no titty
amazing.
bars for anyone.
No titty bars.
Titties.
No
they
titties.
couldn't. Guys were kicked out of the bubble when they tried to bring free range titties into the bubble. They
I
couldn't
think
do
they should have just
that.
expanded the bubble by about 15 miles on either side. There must be three bars nearby. And then that's the bubble now. And
There
then
you go. Yeah.
But yeah.
So let me ask you an NBA, Danny. I'm sorry, I know that.
Okay,
I'm going to ask a sports question. So.
Okay, I'm good in the paint.
Okay. What was it you shouted at a game? You said "and one," and you just.
I got so no. I was at a Clippers game, and I really do like basketball. It's of all the sports is my favorite, and I've always enjoyed it. But I'm not like a huge sports. But I'm at the thing, and I actually called "and one plus one." And I work with this writer, Elaine Coe, who is like this. She's like 5 feet tall, the biggest Lakers fan you've ever met, and no encyclopedic knowledge of basketball. And I'm sitting there, great seats, and I go plus one.
Plus one.
Oh my God. And I was made fun of that in the Modern Family Writers group for 3 years.
As you should have been.
Yeah. Plus one. Like I'm
Plus
going
one.
to the Emmys, an Emmy party.
Plus one.
Plus one.
It was just your twist on it.
Yeah, exactly. Elegant.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a Last Dance kind of question, but as I was watching that, there was a part where they talk about LaBradford Smith. Did you play with LaBradford Smith?
I did.
Okay, so fun tidbit. LaBradford Smith and I are from the same hometown.
Yeah.
We're both from Bay City, Texas.
Bay City, Texas. LaBradford was 1 year behind me in college.
Uh-huh.
So we played against each other 1 year when I was at Kentucky. I only stayed 2 years, but LaBradford stayed 4 years of college. So I'd already been in the NBA 2 or 3 years before he got to the NBA.
Were y'all on the Bullets together?
And then we played on the Bullets together,
Okay.
and I was injured the game that he got 37 or 8 against Michael. Yeah, and then Michael came back the next night and really got him.
Yeah.
Fast forward about 2 years later, and I was in Miami, and Michael and we've been friends. We were both represented by David Falk. We go back 30 years. He called me initially when I was in high school to go to Carolina for Dean Smith. Dean had asked him to have me. So we go back that far, and we'd always been friends. We'd play golf. We'd go bowling and shit on night before games and stuff sometimes. But I had a huge game against them down in Miami. We sneaked them and beat them. I had 30, 38 or 39. We beat them. And then we played them about 2 weeks later at our place. And as the ball was being thrown up, and also they partied the whole night before we beat them the last time on South Beach. And I know because I was there with them.
Yeah. Like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Oh, yes.
He played better after he was.
Absolutely. So as the ball's being thrown up for the next game, right? Jump ball goes up. Michael just went crack and got me right in the sternum. And I mean, one of those that just, and I almost took my breath and I went, oh, fuck. Oh, it's going to be like that tonight, I guess. And it exactly was. He got like 40 in 3 quarters, and I had like 13 on 3 for 12 or something. Like he was just on a mission, had been thinking about us beating him for 2 weeks. And then we played him in the playoffs, and they beat us like a JV team 3 straight.
All I hear him now is saying, and I took that personally.
Yeah. Exactly. It's exactly right.
I was fascinated how he had to make who he was playing a vendetta. Like he had to create an enemy. Like in that, it's so.
And that's what he did with LeBradford Smith. So that's who we're talking about. Danny is the one that. Yeah. He said that LeBradford told him,
and he didn't,
and he never did it. Yeah, he just said it to like. Get himself fired. You know, like fired up. He made up a fight, and that fucking followed the Bradford. That was it.
I watched that whole documentary. I fucking loved it. It was so crazy. And his whole thing with the Pistons was just like, it was like, what?
I know.
I mean,
it was insane. And when I was 16, and I'm in high school, and like I said, I played basketball. I was the only freshman on the varsity team. Not to brag.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Can we go one podcast without you mentioning this? One.
Look, you always say that you were in a band in high school, so shut up. I could talk about my awesome basketball skills.
Okay.
But I worked at a golf course when I was in high school. Like I washed golf carts and picked up range balls. And we had a celebrity golf tournament, and Michael Jordan came and played, and I caddied for him. I drove him around for 18 holes. I mean, it took me like 4 holes before I could even go like, hi.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like I'm a huge diehard, and we start talking, but the competitiveness that I saw from him just playing in a charity golf tournament, like the bets that were being made.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. It's like, okay, 10 on this drive. Whatever. I'm like, you need 10,000, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. The first time I played with him, I hadn't even made $1 yet. And I had just been drafted. And because we had the same agent, I went down to Hilton Head with Michael for about a week. It was me and Michael and a guy named Al Wood and 2 or 3 other, Richard Dent. Remember Richard Dent from the Bears?
Yeah.
And I'm a teenager still. I haven't even, I mean, I don't have any money. And so we're playing poker at night and golf maybe like 54 holes, waking up as soon as it's light, just going out, playing till dark, and then playing poker. And at the end of the thing, Michael told me I owed this other guy 10 grand. And I went, all right, well, all right. I wrote him a check and then went back, and a buddy of mine who I'd already been drafted, so it was only a matter of time. Buddy loaned me 10 grand to pay this gambling. Yes, to pay Michael's gambling
because
buddy.
Michael Jordan needed $10,000.
It wasn't for Michael, it was for the other guy. Michael and I lost. He paid his half due.
This is why I respect your addiction, because a normal human being that would have thrown them off gambling.
Oh no.
But you and me, that would have made
mine.
We double down.
Yeah, exactly.
This charity tournament that they were playing in was all athletes. There's a guy that's from Van Vleck, Texas. It's like 2 minutes from Bay City, named Eric Martin, and he played in the NFL. He was friends with Michael.
Yeah.
And like I remember Jeff Bagwell came and played. Herschel Walker, like we had good names, but the Michael Jordan thing, the whole city. I mean, this is a town of 17,000 people. It was like the biggest thing to ever come to town. And the people that had won an auction to play with him. So these 3 guys, businessmen from Houston, who had paid who knows how much to play around a golf. And one of the guys I knew because his brother owned this big, like he was one of the furniture guys in Houston that would like save you money and like all these other commercials. And I tell Mike, I go, oh, you're playing over there with old Ralph. And I go, I heard this about him. And I just like said something, and he was like, Right on. Okay. And he went and was like mind manipulating this guy, like, oh, I heard you. And I'm like,
That's amazing.
I
Wound him
cannot
up.
believe- And then he came back and like I was on the putting green, he putted, then he made this like long putt. He high-fived me, which by the way, that was the most nerve-wracking few seconds of my life because I held up my hand for a high five and then I thought, what if he doesn't?
Yeah.
And everybody was watching and I just remember going, all right.
You'll be still holding your hand up today.
Today I'd be like, he high fives me. He's like, thanks for the tip. I'm like, I love it that he just fucked this guy over and bet him like 30 grand on that hole. Like the guy lost. I was like, and then that cheap fucker didn't even give me a cut. Like I helped you, Michael.
Yeah,
if you're
come
listening,
on, man.
Michael, you owe me.
Come on.
Before we get to like what we've been watching and stuff, because I have a few. What year did you play? When did you play at Kentucky?
I played at Kentucky 86 to 88.
Oh, so you were there when so you were there my last year at Syracuse. So
Yeah.
Was Pearl Washington playing?
Pearl was just out. We played Syracuse my sophomore year, but it was the only game I didn't play. I got undercut the game before, broke a little bone in my back, and I missed the Syracuse game. They had Ronnie Cycli, and Sherman Douglas, and Stevie Thompson.
Yeah, we lost to Indiana in '86.
And we got beat by them with we got beat by Indiana in overtime. They had Steve Alford that year. And that was honestly Steve Alford. I don't know if you remember him, little white guy that played it. He was one of the greatest high school players and one of the greatest college players ever. But he was a senior when I was a freshman.
Wow.
And I'd been watching him, play for 3 years, and I was in high school, and Indiana's just right up here. So I was very familiar with him, and I played him like the 5th game of my freshman year. And after that game, he was supposed to be player of the year. And after that game, I went, oh man, maybe I can be pretty good too, because he was little, he was small. Yeah. And so that was one of the first times that I thought, oh, okay, maybe I can, go on and keep playing. But anyway,
right.
Little side note.
How tall are you? Are you like 6'5"?
I'm only like 6'3" or 4, but I'm like, I'm like 6'8" wingspan. So, yeah. Wow. You don't block shots with your head.
No, that's why I have long, giant arms.
There you go.
Big hands. Yeah.
My son is 6'4", but he's not great at basketball. But
are you just shitting on him because he's taller than you? Like
I hate him.
Yeah,
taller than it's like it's so like because
I have all these Emmys and
my dad was 6'1" and my mom was 5'1", and so like that like I got like the 5'9". I was like I'm so pissed off. And he's his great fucking hair. Fuck him.
Got it all.
That's what my dad was like 6'1". His youngest sister was 5 foot. And so my dad has 2 daughters. His sister has 2 sons. So my first cousins are like 5'5". The guy cousins and my sister's 5'10", and I'm 5'9".
Nice.
We just like tower over everyone.
So great.
Like,
that's so great.
So we always finish our show talking about things we've been watching or recommend. Like anything. What have you been watching, Rex? Anything?
No.
You like?
When I was trying to, I try to get away from the politics a little bit. You know what I got into? I got way into The Crown, and I mowed through The Crown in a couple of weeks. Loved it. I started watching recently The Good Lord Bird. Ethan Hawke. Is it Ethan Hawke? Oh gosh, I forget what it's on.
Series?
It's a little series. It's about John. I'm drawing a blank. The Good Lord Bird.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. It's pretty intense. I don't know. I normally find myself at the end of the night falling asleep to Murder, She Wrote. So there you go.
Who does
that? I mean, how old are you?
I know.
I mean, you gotta.
I know. I just like the music, the music in the background, and just the.
And I mean, it's okay if you got it for Angela Lansbury. You got to see.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other night because she seemed old then. to me.
I thought
Yeah,
she
me
was
too.
old then too.
And but she's such a splendid actress, of course, and everything. But she was the lead in a show on forever, and not really the sex appeal of it. Although they tried to make her that, and
Yeah, you
she
can make
kind
her
of
that if you
succeeded.
want to. Yeah, if you want to.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Angela Lansbury.
boom.
That hot piece of ass, Angela Lansbury.
Our crack producer Guy Obshinsky has told us that The Good Lord Bird is on Showtime.
Okay,
So,
give it a shot. Yeah, give it a shot. It's pretty
Benny,
intense, but good.
Have y'all seen? Did y'all watch the Tiger Woods?
No,
I
not yet.
haven't. I haven't.
It's
My
great.
buddies all said that I need to. And then I heard the other one, One Night in Miami. Is that?
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
with
yeah. I haven't seen that yet, but that looks good.
Yeah.
That looked
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's the one where Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, like
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah. The
Same.
Tiger Woods thing, I like it. It was such an eye opener, and in a way, you kind of felt for him. Like this was not a docu series that he approved of. You know,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
everyone that's on it is like his old caddy that he had forever. There's a lot, like his first girlfriend. The biggest teaser, it's two parts. The very, very end of the first one, you see this girl sit down and look up, and you're like, oh shit, that's that Rachel you could tell that was his mistress.
Yeah.
And then she goes, okay, what are we talking about? And then they throw the commercials, and I'm like, wait, no. They're like, tune in
So
next
great.
week. I'm like, you fucking better
That's
believe
so
I'll be
great.
Well,
tuning
glad I
in.
saved it.
Is
And-
his wife? Is she on there? Is Elon on there?
No, like no one in
Okay.
his space. Like this was not anything that he. Matter of fact, like,
Okay.
if he watched it or anyone that knows him or related, you'd be squirming watching it because
Really?
it's really uncomfortable. But it's a lot about his dad was just
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah,
And
I could tell
and
it.
you realize what his dad did factored into what he ended up doing. So you have a feeling of like
Yeah.
empathy
You
for
get it
him,
a little
but
bit. Yeah.
yeah, you do get it. That, and then I just started watching this show on Amazon that I love called Flack.
I saw your tweet about it. It's called Flack.
It's got Anna Paquin's in it, and it's
Oh, I
set
love
at a
her.
public relations firm. It's on Amazon Prime in London, and it's just these cutthroat PR people that have to like cover up celebrities' messes. So it's like
Oh,
it
that's
starts
great.
off with like her fucking giving chest compressions to some twink that had OD'd while an actor who had a wife was
Oh,
in the
this is
hotel
great.
room. Yeah, it's,
Well, I'm
it's
definitely-
really,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
in.
it's quick, and it's like
I'm
you know
in.
dark. I would say like a dark comedy, dark. But
Oh, wow.
highly recommend that Flack.
I'm gonna jump off of that because I've been watching something that's sort of like that, but it's a French comedy. It's subtitled, but it's called Call My Agent, or Call My Agent, and I think the French
saw
word is
something about
10%. And
Yeah.
the fourth season just came out, and it's basically they use whoever the French, a different French star is in every episode. And I think this season actually Sigourney Weaver's in it, but it's this
Wow.
agency and all of the machinations and shit that goes wrong. And the characters are really fucking interesting and funny. And I just got swept up in it. So I like it. I very
Awesome.
But
Well,
my
is that on Netflix?
it's on Showtime. Netflix, yeah.
Show-
Netflix. No,
Okay.
Netflix. Sorry.
All right.
And then my biggest recommendation of the months, I really want everybody to see this, is In and of Itself on, I think it's Netflix, right? Yeah. No.
Oh
Hulu.
no, it's on Hulu. Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yes. I haven't finished it yet.
What
started
is it?
watching
Okay, I'm not gonna give too much away. There's
Okay.
it's a magician who did, and which it sounds like it's gonna be a magic. This guy did a live show in New York that ran for a while,
Jimmy was gonna say
and
that.
Oh,
broadly it's a magic show, but it's all about identity and alienation. And I swear, like I was crying by the end, and the audience is too, and it's something I've never seen before. It's
Wow.
crazy powerful, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And I went in not knowing anything about it, and I'm glad. I actually am going to watch it again. But it was like, and this guy is very like, it could get like mawkish, and it could get like into that sort of magician-y. It doesn't. Like for whatever
Wow.
reason, he's very sincere in it. Like I buy his
Yeah.
own alienation. It's one of the most special things I've seen. So I
In
really
and of itself.
in and of
Yeah.
itself.
Okay.
And there's nothing like it, by the way.
There's nothing
Okay.
like it. You know, I'm curious because DM me. I want to know if you liked it because I think you will. I just given you're very
I will.
open-hearted, like I think you would. And well, that's our show, man. Rex, so fucking good to have you on, man.
Thanks
Love
for
it.
having me, guys. Let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely, thank you. And keep up with the Twitter thing. It's working for you. It's making
Yeah.
everybody happy. You're bringing us together.
Yes,
Good.
you are.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.